Hi, my name is Amir. I'm one of the co-founders of Sinom. Sinom is a platform for smart maintenance and renovation planning of building portfolios. As we know, building stocks in Sweden as well as in the rest of Europe are quite old. In fact, one of the biggest problems we have today in real estate sector in Sweden is that there are lots of buildings that need to be renovated. These buildings need to be renovated to meet new standards and regulations, but also they need to be renovated to improve the energy performance of the building stock. Buildings account for about 40% of the total energy demand in Sweden as well as in Europe. And that would make them a source of enormous untapped efficiency potential. So why is that? Despite all this necessity and need, we still have a very low rate of renovation. To answer to this question, we need to look at the main problems we have today in the real estate sector. So one of the main problems we have today is that housing companies, they have a lot to do but very limited budget. Because of that, they need to postpone measures when there is no money. And most often, the long-term consequences of these short-term decisions are not considered, are not taken into account. The other problem we have is with data. Data is scarce, it's fragmented, and it's poorly documented. And that because of that, housing companies, they have to rely on the experience and knowledge of their staff when it comes to planning and portfolio management, which makes them very vulnerable because when these people leave the company, all the information and knowledge leaves with them. It's a billion-dollar industry where still pen and paper and Excel sheets are used for planning and portfolio management. And that's why we have developed Sinom. Sinom is the result of more than 12 years of research and development, and it's based on a unique algorithm to digitalize, automatize, as well as optimize maintenance, renovation planning, and portfolio management. In this algorithm, we use the relationship between component deterioration lifecycle cost analysis, as well as energy demand analysis, to enable digitalization and documentation of data, but also optimization of solutions. On top of this, we have a layer of building stock model. That layer helps us with automation of the solutions, as well as scaling of the solutions that we offer. So here are some of the benefits you gain from using the Sinom platform. First and foremost, data is collected and documented systematically, so no information is lost, and you can have access to information at any given time. Then, planning is data-driven, and its entire process is automated, so it helps with resource efficiency and efficient decision-making. But also because we offer optimization of solutions, we can basically balance the short-term and long-term requirements with the available budget or long-term targets and goals, such as energy and climate targets. And all of these together results in savings in terms of cost. We estimate about 3 billion Swedish crowns per year for the Swedish market, but also savings in terms of time, because now planning takes less than 1 minute. Here is our team. We have 2 PhDs working on the development of the algorithm. They have extensive background in building technology, housing economy, sustainability, as well as sustainable city development. We have a full stack developer who's dedicated to development of the tool and the web platform. And we have a professor with us who is an advisor and has an extensive knowledge and background in buildings and renovation in the Swedish market. Thank you. Please visit our website so you can book a demo and learn more about our approach to maintenance and renovation planning. But also you can learn more about the tool and the platform.
Thank you so much for a great presentation. We got one of the team members, Claudia, here from Sinom. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
I'm just going to ask a couple of questions here. And I'm going to start with one thing that I thought about during this presentation. Name a dream customer.
Our dream customers are housing owners, from medium to large housing owners here in Sweden that want to do more with their buildings and kind of start planning more long-term work towards our climate and energy targets.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit more. You just recently finished some research work at Chalmers, right?
Yeah.
And started to join this company. Just tell people who might not know how that journey can evolve from being a part of the academic institution and going into, corporatization and a startup.
Yeah. I mean, Chalmers is a great place to do that, I have to say. I mean, I was lucky enough to meet Amir, other co-founder. We started talking towards the end of our PhDs and realized we both had actually things to talk about and that we could do something together. And then took it from there. Started Sinom last year, or 2020. Already a bit more than a year, and kind of started talking first to the innovation office, which then led us to Chalmers Ventures.
And were you colleagues at the same department here at Chalmers?
Yes, exactly. Different research groups.
Right, and how did you come in contact with like the opportunity or possibility to commercialize research?
Well, we both, but especially me, have a research environment which kind of encouraged commercialization. We come from in architecture, civil engineering. It's quite close to, it's very applied research.
Right.
And I had my PhD was part of Climate Kick, which is very encourages an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
So that was basically from the start. You thought about how is this relevant for society? How can this can this be commercialized also?
And one thing that I think is pretty important for people to understand is how long it takes in the research setting before an idea like this can be commercialized. You talked to a colleague here, talked about around 12 years. And is that a normal amount of time for tech or deep tech to evolve in the system? Or
I can't speak to others, but obviously at the beginning it's a research idea, and commercialization might come in at a very late stage. For us, it was only really now the last 2.5 years where we really kind of concretely focused on or thought about this.
Right.
And as we learned also, once you have something like our approach in our algorithms, once you have that as a research model, developing it in a tool that somebody else can use, you basically have to redo everything all over again. So.
I understand. And this might be like a leading question, but when I look at you and Amir and we've been getting to know you, it seems like chemistry within the team of the startup is quite important. How do you view that and search for new competence to keep evolving the business and the startup and the competence within it?
Yeah, I mean it's key. You work so closely together, then you need to get along. You need to be friends as well as colleagues, I think, because otherwise, it won't last. So it'll be hard to make last, because you also have to go through some tough moments.
Exactly. It's both peaks and valleys, right?
Exactly.
And one last question before I let you go. Where do you see Sinom in 5 years' time?
We aim to be established here in the Swedish market where we're starting out, and are then looking out into Europe, because as Amir introduced in our pitch, the problem is definitely not just a Swedish one, it's all over Europe where we need to do something with our building stock.
Amir and Claudio, thank you so much. And if you're watching now and you own property, Sinom is the place to ask where your business is going ahead. So thank you so much, and on to the next pitch.